Hey. So we're going to talk about the first because we have the five generations that computers passed through. We have the first generation, the second generation, the third generation, the fourth generation, and the fifth generation, which is in development, where the use of the AI, the use of robots, artificial intelligence. So we're going to first look at the first generation, and this was the generation which was developed in the first centuries. So this is where we had the use of they were the hardwares that were used. We had vacuum tubes. We had the use of punch cards. We had the use of magnetic drums. um, the characteristics of the first generation is like computers were very large, they were unreliable, they consumed a lot of heat and electricity. So they mainly used numeric calculators. Yeah, first generation the computers mainly used numeric calculators. Um uh, so we had some computers there, but well, then after we went to the second generation, and the second generation we have that was from the 1950s to the 1960s. So um yeah, the hardwares of this century, we had the use of transistors that replaced the vacuum tubes of the first generation. So we had the use of magnetic core memory was introduced. So the characteristics of the second generation, they were smaller than those ones of the first generations. Um, they were faster than those of the first generation, and they were used for business applications and scientific calculations. So that was the second generation. So maybe we go to the third generation of computers, and that was from 1960s to the 1970s. So this is where we had the integrated circuit. Those ones they call the ICS, the integrated circuit. So they were used for processing. Uh, so we had this is their characteristics. They were smaller, they were faster, they were more reliable than the second and the first generation. They were capable of multitasking and time sharing. So in this generation you had multitasking and time sharing. So let me hope everything is clear. So I went to the fourth generation, and that was from 1970 to the 1980s. So this is where we had the use of microprocessors. They were the introduction of the VLSI, the very large scale integrated circuit. Sorry, the VLSI, yeah, very large scale integration chips, not chips. Those ones they put in computers. So that's what it was used. That's what it was used in this generation. So their characteristics, the computers were significantly smaller. They were more powerful. They were infectious. They enabled personal computing and development of graphical user interface. So you know the graphical user interface. That's the interface which helps you to enter commands in a computer by using maybe text, graphics, pictures, that sort. Yeah. Let me hope we're together. Let me hope I'm not taking you fast, but let me hope I'm on the right track. So we go to the generation. So the fifth generation, that's one that runs from 1980s to the present days. So here we have the VALSI technology continue to evolve. So like the other side for the fourth, we had VLSI that was a very large scale integration chips. So this side they were developed in some way. They became a fixture some. So they were used for more than they were used in the fourth generation. They were working very well. They were developed in such a way that everything was good. So the characteristics they are these computers are characterized by AIs and natural language processing capabilities. They focused on advanced programming problems. They focus on advanced problems, problem solving, and use parallel processing for high performance computing. So let me hope we are together. I can't explain more, but that's what I have for you. So here we go to the sixth generation. That's the future. The future. Now we are the fifth. That's the present now, and we are going to the sixth generation. That's the future speculation. So the characteristics they are even called hypothetical characteristics of the sixth generation. So that's what we're going to look at. Predicting specific characteristics of a hypothetical sixth generation of computers is challenging as it is a speculative term that could refer to advancement beyond the current state of technology. So what you're seeing here is like they are going to develop not basing on they are going to base on the technology you have right now, but it's going to be more developed than the one we have right now. Like it's going to be more good, more developed. Everything is going to be amazing. So in the sixth generation, that's the future generation we are going to have in that generation of the sixth generation, the hypothetical characteristics of the sixth generation. They even call them the hypothetical. So it means everything is wow, nothing there is has ever been here on this world. So we wait for the sixth generation of computers. So that's the end of my thingy. The end of the generation of computers because we went to the first. You look at the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth and sixth. So we are looking at the first, and that was characterized by the vacuum tubes. So we came to the second, that was characterized by the use of transistors for processing. So we went to the third, and the third was characterized by the use of integrated circuit. In fourth, that was the use of microchips, maybe the very large scale integration chips. We went to the fifth, and that's where we have the AI development. Now we're waiting for the sixth, and that's where we have the hypothetical characteristics. Thank you. That's the end of that's the end of the generation of the evolution of computers. Thank you for waiting for me. I'm back. So you're going to look at the Intel 808. Is a microprocessor that was introduced by Intel in April 1974. And this statement, you see that Intel was just a company that developed the Intel 808. So it was a 8-bit microprocessor. So the bits we had here they are 8 bits. So that's called a byte because we all know that a byte is a collection of 8 bits. So that's a byte. So meaning it processed data in 8 bits chunks. Like data was processed in 8 bits. Storing data was in 8 bits, so it wasn't exceeding that, the Intel 808. Um, so so here are some key details about the Intel. So we are going to look at some key details about the Intel 808. So we have architect of the architecture, and that is it had a 16-bit address bus, which meant it could address up to 64 kilobytes of memory. It had 74 instructions and 246 opcodes. So opcodes, that's like OPCODES. Well, I don't know more about opcodes, but at the end of the video, maybe I'll give a hint about opcode. So we have what we call the clock speed. The original 808 operated at a clock speed of 2 megahertz. So the megahertz, you all know that the hertz, that's the speed, it's not measurable. You can't measure it anything. You can't measure it by eyes, but it had the clock had a speed of 2 megahertz. So for physics, I know for some people who did physics, I know you have a hint about this. So we got the application. It was used in a wide range of early microcomputer system and other electric devices. Notably, it was the CPU in the first widely successful personal computer, the Altair 8800. So it was a CPU in the Altair 8800. So you can go and check about Altair. That's A A ALTAIR. So Altair, yeah. Maybe I'll give you some hint about it. We have the legacy. The 8080 was an important milestone in the development of microprocessors and was succeeded by the Intel 8085. So it also influenced later processors of Intel Timus 86, so 86 family. So they developed more Intel basing on the 8080. So we all know about the microprocessors, and microprocessors were developed in the fourth generation. So it means the Intel was also developed in the fourth generation because it was just a microprocessor. And you know microprocessors were not in the first, second, third generation. So we go to the instruction set. It used a simple, relative, straightforward instruction set, which made it popular for early computer hobbyists. So many of the hobbyists that were there, like people who went into computer using what. So it was something that was straightforward, something that would give you anything that you want, straightforward. Like it wasn't beating around the bush, because being straightforward, like straight to the line. You follow the line, as English people say. So we have the capability. It was not binary compatible with the Intel 8008. It was predenser due to some changes in the instruction set. So I think it's self-explanatory. So we have the successor, and the successor of 8080 was the Intel 8085, introduced in the 1976, was an improved version of the 8080 with some additional features. So we have some additional features. So we know that additional features were in the 8085. So we go to the 8. So every feature I'm going to give right now, it's in the 8085, and it wasn't in the Intel 8080. So we have status. As of my last knowledge update in September 2021, the Intel 808 is considered a historical microprocessor and is no longer in active production on commercial use. So they're no longer developing Intel 8080. They moved on to 8085. So many of the Intels developed from there. So maybe that's what we're going to look at next. Yeah, thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you, madam, for listening to me. Hope this is grateful. Yeah, that's what I had collected for you. Thank you, madam. May God bless you.